Hello everybody, it's Conor and we are back with another episode of One Leeds. We're here to discuss the game last night. I wanted to speak on a few things. Let's just bring this camera lighting up a little bit. There we go. And we're here to just discuss a few things when it comes to Leeds United. Please make sure you are slapping a like on the video as always. And I want to get your thoughts on what's going on with Leeds at the minute and obviously the performance last night, which was decent. I thought really, really decent in terms of, Leeds progressing as a team in terms of creating chances and a team who are able to, really push the envelope when it comes to stressing teams out at the back and being able to cut through them. But once again, we're still not able to curate those killer goals really, and it's been a seasonal expectation. It seems to be Leeds United are just really, really struggling to curate a lot of chances at the minute. And I think it's, and when I say curate a lot of chances, I mean finish a lot of chances, I should say. And we saw that in abundance last night. There's no way Fulham should have come away with that. They did come away with it, a victory. They didn't concede any goals. And I wanted to discuss with you guys why on earth that is happening with Leeds United. So make sure you get your comments in the section below. Hi Conor, hi mate, hope you're all right. Michael's in the building. Hope we keep hold of Javi. I think we will. Really don't like the change in managers all the time. Interesting, says Phil. Adam's head proper went down after that giveaway. Yeah, it did. I felt like it did as well, mate. I really do. Hey up, Conor. Chat. Hi, Joe. Hope you're all right, mate. All right, Conor. Thought everything was good last night, apart from the finishing in front of goal. Yeah, definitely, mate. Confidence, possibly. Yeah, I just think that there's just a natural lack of composure. When someone's just got like a leaf blower outside, by the way, and it's waking the entire street up. I just think at the minute there is just a lack of composure at the minute in front of goal, and that I'm almost just wanting to come on this stream and ask you guys, do you think you can teach that? It's one of those things that with these players, that's got to be embedded. That's got to be something that they're able to develop on themselves. That's not up to Javi Gracia. I mean, he can get them in training and shooting all the time, but he came out last night and said, literally, I quote, "We didn't finish with composure," and he's bang on. He's right. He's correct. It's really hard to take for me, and it's pure frustration. Don't get me wrong, but it's pure frustration that we're not able to finish some of our chances, and Fulham are able to literally create how many chances? 3, I felt, including the Mitrovic chance over the 90, and they're able to score, twice. Obviously, it was 2 absolute worldies, but it would be very, very nice for Leeds to be able to, have that level of conviction in front of goal, and I think it's becoming abundantly clear right now to me that the snatching of the chances, the composure in front of goal, the extra touch, the extra pass that's always needed will be a problem for Leeds United throughout the season until we get certain personnel back. As I say, the amount of chances, I mean, how many can we think of, everybody? We had the Rutter goal, which was ruled out, which was a joke, nowhere near a push by McKennie. Then on top of that, you had Aronson's chance at the end. You had Nonto with an effort. You had another goal which we put in the back of the net with Nonto as well. There was, several chances when it came to just our forward play. Somerville, obviously. And it just feels at the minute that the ball just won't go in the back of the net. The ball just will not go in the back of the net for Leeds. And I think that's something that they're going to have to work on in training, and we do need certain players back immediately, and we're going to get onto that in just a little bit. LUFC England says, long time no speak, Conor. Do you think we hype our players too much and they're just not good enough? Yeah, I'm on that. I'm not on it fully, mate, but I know what you mean. I do think Leeds fans naturally, I think we've always done this as a club, especially in the Bielsa era. I do think fans do hype players up way too much, but I understand why they do it, because in previous games they've proven it, right? So, but I do think overall, going forward, this is going to be a continuous issue for Leeds. I do think we're going to be missing big chances. I do think this isn't a systemic thing for me. I think this is the individuals as well, and I think Gracia is going to find problems with that going forward. However, I do want to talk about a lot of the positives that happened last night, as in, how we dominated the game, but we've dominated many games this year. Now, naturally people are going to speak about Marsh or Gracia. There's no comparison already for me. I think we already look more dangerous going forward with width. I think you've seen better performances from individuals. Junior Firpo being the classic example straight off the bat. I think defensively we look a lot tighter. I can't really think in 2 games of Southampton doing anything and at all. And Fulham, aside from the Mitrovic chance that they had outside of those 2 worldy goals, them doing anything. And it's been reflected in the XG as well. Southampton didn't get above, I don't think it was 0.3, and Fulham didn't get above 0.6 yesterday. And Fulham are outperforming their XG this season, which I know a lot of you don't enjoy, discussing. But yeah, and at the end of the day, we're not conceding stupid goals. Teams aren't having a ridiculous amount of chances against us like they were under Marsh, and they're not scoring at the back post every game as well. And, throughout the game, we're not turning around and going, oh, they're through on goal again. Oh, they're through. Okay, up to Melia again. So I don't think it's the same whatsoever. And I think Gracia has managed in a week to be able to give his, put his thought processes over, and we look a lot better. Like, we dominated the game last night. We dominated the game against Southampton. That's really been impressive. And it's not really down to Gracia, because the systematic style of Leeds for me has changed in a positive way, even in a week. So that's improved. But I am looking at the players in terms of just being just slowing down a little bit. I looked at Weston McKennie yesterday and I thought he had a really good first half. But then we're getting into the second half and he's giving ball after ball after ball away. Tyler Adams, once again in that midfield, at fault for the first goal, 100%. Giving the ball away needlessly last night, very sloppy in possession. Rasmus Christensen, I know he's centre back and he doesn't normally play there, giving the ball away sloppily. Robin Koch, sloppily giving the ball away. Putting the ball out into touch a couple of times, and he was expecting Firpo to run onto it. But occasions like that, where, it's just those, it's not only in the final third, sometimes it is even in the build-up. There's a really nice sequence of play in the first half, actually, where you thought, oh, bloody hell. It was almost back to a former manager's style of football where we built up from the back and it looked really good and we got through. But yeah, it is that cuteness, it's that guile in front of goal, and even in those midfield areas at points, Leeds do look a little bit shabby, and I think when the press is put on them, they can really falter, on the ball, and I don't think we have that many press-resistant players. However, I do think there is changes that Leeds can make to improve our fortunes, and I'm going to get onto that in just a little bit. Jamie said, if I crash my car every week, it's not unlucky because it's on a consistent basis. I'm just a turgid driver. The same can be said for the chances we miss. Yeah, can't deny that, really. Jamie says, Adam's worst game in a Leeds shirt, but he's been unreal. I'd agree. I still, my initial thoughts on Tyler Adams, I listen, and McKennie, this is what I said before we bought them, and I got slandered for it, but I still stand by everything I said. I think Adams has been a wonderful buy. He's definitely, gone past my expectations for Tyler Adams, but I always said I was a little bit nervy on Tyler Adams because I didn't think he was a great ball player, and I still don't think he is. McKennie, this was my whole thing, what I was talking about when I was saying who I would have preferred a more technical number 8, an almost younger Matthias Klick, because he's better on the ball. McKennie is a box-to-box player, but as we've seen for the first 2, 3, 4 games that he's played, he's not amazing on the ball. Leeds can put out as many graphics as they want about, his and videos about his game at the weekend, and I thought he was decent in the second half, but the first half, it was, the safety was on a little bit. I was literally level with him, as I've mentioned numerous times, and I didn't think he was that exceptional. So maybe it is us rating players a little bit higher than they actually are. However, I'm just focusing on McKennie there because it's one of those things where I felt from the start, him and Adams were never great on the ball, but they're great when it comes to other things. Like, I thought McKennie was really, really composed in certain pockets of space when we were playing triangles on the left and we were playing triangles on the right. I thought he was really, really good there. I think Adams, as we all know, is a good breaker up of play, but an actual ball player, someone who's really, really convincing in possession, it's completely different. But, I'd like to see that midfield 3. I think that midfield 3 will work well going forward. We have got to bear in mind that Fulham are one of the informed teams in the country at the minute. They've got players who can do that. Palhinha, I said on my match preview, is probably, in my opinion, the most underrated midfielder in the world, in the league. I thought he was once again exceptional last night without doing much, and that's the quality that they have. Sola, I believe it's Sola or Sona, I can't remember the Israeli that they started, who was quiet most of the game but scored the second goal, which was a worldy finish. He's been coming off the bench for Fulham, so that's what they've got coming off the bench. At one point, I'm not saying it's an array of quality, but they're bringing Harrison, Reed, Willian, off the bench. Willian destroyed Leeds at Ellen Road, didn't they? So, they do have quality in that side. Solomon, sorry, mate. I've done it. Shocking pronunciation from me. Sam B says, I like Rocker with Adams and McKennie. I'd agree. So you're a big McKennie fan. I like McKennie. I put it out on a tweet yesterday. I like what he was doing. I really, really like what he was doing. I said literally on a tweet, McKennie was excellent in that first half. People think I've got an agenda. Literally, just take a step back and watch it as a football man. That's what I try and do. I played the game at a very decent level until I was 19 years of age in the midfield. I'm not saying I can compare myself to Weston McKennie. Not on the same level. Was never on the same level. But I feel like I've got a good understanding of the game, and Weston McKennie's not great in possession, and he will never be great in possession for me, and neither is Tyler Adams, but that's not their game. It's not their game, and that's why you need someone like a Mark Rocker in there to help them out, but it can't all be focused on Mark Rocker for elements of quality. That's too much pressure from the midfield. There was the game against Southampton for McKennie, had to play that right pass to Brendan Aronson. Last night there was a ball through to Somerville in an unbelievable position, overcooks it. These are the positions which teams like Fulham get right, teams like Brighton get right, Brentford get right. That weight of pass, that composure, that efficiency on the ball, they get it right. So, it's one of those things, unfortunately. Hey guys, 341 in the building. Smash a like. Yeah, Quinsdale, thank you everybody. Hit a like on the video. I'd really appreciate that. Hytham says, Gracia has only had 2 games to work with the team. We can already see improvement. At least we have a chance to survive. Well, yeah, we're above the relegation zone, so of course. But yeah, I think I've just stuck on my notes here that it's the loose passes, I think, slowing down, lack of confidence, and that's why you take an additional touch in football all the time anyway. Even when I played, I've had chats with Brownie that, when your confidence is on the floor, you take an additional touch. Happens all the time. So that's what these Leeds players are facing at the minute. It's an additional touch. It's this, it's that. But we were so unlucky last night. There's no way of getting around the fact that, Rutter hitting the post with that head of the inside of the post, that goal that was written off, that should have been, a goal. Mark Rocker going to, as soon as they'd scored their first goal, we went to the other end and had the exact same chance, and Mark Rocker hits it straight at the keeper. Somerville's chances, Nonto's chances, McKennie's chances, Aronson's chances. We were the better team, but if we end up in the Championship, everybody, all this is inconsequential. It means nothing. Fulham fans are not going to go home, after last night's game and go, oh, well, Leeds were the better team. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Fulham won the game 2-0. Leeds didn't score. So we've got to start converting. Now, for me, I'd be sticking Rutter in ahead of Patrick Bamford. For me, that's what I'd be looking at. And the reason behind that is because I think Patrick, and I'm not going to double down at all, because I think the initial thing of what I said about Patrick was that he improves the team. The team improves when Bamford's there, no doubt. And that's always been the for me, when Bamford's been in and around it at Leeds United, it's always been the thing. But for me, I've only had ever one season when he's been at Leeds where I've been convinced that he should be Leeds United's number 9, and that was the Premier League season. The Championship, I think he had something like 28 missed big chances, which people always gloss over because we went up that season. But in that season, with the team that we had, with Pablo Hernandez supplying like he was, for Bamford to only get 16 goals was unbelievable. He should have been hitting 30, 31s, 32s. But all the rhetoric about Patrick Bamford was he helps the team. He's better with link up. He's better, X, Y, and Z. He's better at holding the ball up, this, that, and the other. Now, I kind of got on that bandwagon, especially the season afterwards when he scored 17 and he was excellent. But aside from that season in the Premier League where he was excellent, I can't really think of many times at Leeds United where I've looked at Bamford and thought, yeah, he's mustard. He's our number 9. We couldn't get better with our budget and our position than Patrick Bamford. That's just not the case anymore. I'm now looking at him coming on and I'm thinking, his movement for me looks a little bit sluggish. I mean, last night, and especially against Southampton, he's always offside. He's always offside. He's not running the line as well as he should be doing. He's not really holding the ball up. I think he looks sloppy in possession, and maybe that's down to confidence. I don't know. But for me, the change at the weekend, you put Rutter on instead of Patrick Bamford. I thought he looked stronger. I thought he looked more confident. He was shooting on goal a little bit more efficiently. I thought he was getting a little bit of power on his shots instead of him just being scuffed. I thought he looked like a little bit of a menace, to be honest, and he's a bit of an unpredictable package, and I like that. I thought, Leeds weren't getting Rutter into the game a lot, and I actually thought that's where we were. We didn't lose the game as such, but that's where we weren't able to really, really hurt Fulham. I think if you get Rutter in that game yesterday, he'd have caused all sorts of problems. I think when he did get involved in the game, he was causing Fulham problems, but Leeds, for some reason, didn't start playing through him. It was a lot through Somerville, it was a lot through Harrison, it was a lot through Nonto, and they were just, it looked like anyway, they were seemingly just panicking on the ball and not really, utilising the composure maybe of Rutter. But let me know what you guys think on that one. Conor, thoughts on Meslier? Do we need more experience in the sticks? I don't know. LAFC England. I'm not 100% sure he's having the best season, or I don't think he is whatsoever. But I don't know what we can expect, mate. In terms of where we are as a club. Position wise, we've literally got like the second, third standing French goalkeeper in Illan Meslier. I've never been 100% convinced on him. I think he's a really good shot stopper. I think he's poor from crosses, and I think his decision making is poor. But overall, I think he's a decent keeper. He's a decent keeper, isn't he? So. Future says it's all about mindset. In the Cardiff game, he was relaxed and he scored, but now he looks worried when he gets near the goal. The thing is, Future, there's no the excuses are running thin. They're running dry for me. We can't just keep giving excuses for Pat Bamford. He's injured. He's rusty. He's getting back into it. He'll be there soon. Oh, he scored. Fantastic. What were you saying about Pat Bamford? Oh, he goes on a little bit of a barren run. We need, whatever anyone says, and this is the conversation I have with Gabe frequently, because I've always said Bamford over Rodrigo. I've never been fully convinced on Rodrigo. This season he's had a great season, but there's a big difference in my head, and it's coming a little bit clearer to me now. I used to think Bamford was better at elements of his game, which he was back then for me, but I don't think he's as good at anymore. So now I'm looking at Pat Bamford and I'm thinking, what do you bring to the team? And I think the same with Christensen. I'm like, what do you bring to the team? What advantages, what positives do you bring to the team? In comparison to someone like Rodrigo or Christensen when it's compared to Drame or Ayling. But there's no chance when, and this was just proven last night, Sinisterra and Rodrigo are individual players. They have individual quality. It's always been about Leeds United being part of the team game, hasn't it? It's been Sinisterra was a bit of an odd one when he came in. Rafinha was an odd one because it was individual quality. And I'm not saying they don't and didn't work for the team, but they will get the ball and strike it from 25 yards and likely, it might go in, 5 out of 10 times, and it wouldn't be about tippy-tappy around the box, and it wouldn't be about playing the ball back. It would be being direct and getting a shot on goal and being selfish. Rodrigo's the exact same. It's about being selfish, getting shots on target, getting shots on goal. It's not all just about this team holistic environment anymore. We need individual quality to win games, and that was stark last night. Solomon and Palhinha, individual quality to win games. Leeds need this now. It's not about team. It needs to be about individuals stepping up and winning games for Leeds United. And I think at the minute, when you look at maybe our front four, there is a real lack of composure in there, and I'm struggling to see where the goals are coming from. K-Bone says, McKennie's box-to-box workhorse, not a passer, finesse guy. Yep, agree, K-Bone. Don't disagree with what you're saying there at all. Hytham says, Fulham won scoring 2 worldy goals. We can see that he has reduced a silly mistake, which gives us chance. I don't know if we're talking about there. Bamford, I'm not sure. Where would we be without Roddy's 10 goals? We'd be bottom, K-Bone, simple. No more excuses for Bamford. He needs to go at the end of the season. Yeah, I think it's competition as well. It's competition, and I think that's the big thing. All you've seen is Conor. Is it fair to say Nonto is neutralised? But it is fair to say that you're seeing that all the time. I mean, Harry Wilson. Anytime he got the ball, and Harry Wilson's obviously a winger, was on his touch. Cedric was on his touch last night, and I think he's only 19 years of age. We need other people to step up and have that composure in front of goal. It can't just all be Willie Gnonto. Hi Conor says Dave, Fulham are better players than us. A lot of the blame has to be on Orta. Yeah, Fulham go out and actually buy proven quality players, especially in the attacking third. Offensively, Fulham have such technically gifted players with quality. That's what they go out and buy. And they really work to the expansive system. You saw them hugging the touchlines, very Marcelo Bielsa-esque in terms of how they went forward yesterday. And they do, you're right, they buy proven players who are quality at the minute. And that's always been the criticism from my perspective with Victor Orta. He buys potential, and he buys potential for a hell of a lot of money. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, I do honestly feel that with Rodrigo and Sinisterra back, it would be, a much more balanced team with a lot more quality. But can we get them back soon enough? Can we get them back for the big games? And can we keep them fit? We need to keep them fit. It can't be Cine coming back and going out again. Can't be Rodrigo leaving the side. Thank God. We're out of the competition now, aren't we? But he's not going to be coming on for 10 minutes against Accrington for absolutely no reason again. So hopefully he'll be that. He'll be back soon, but. Jamie says, what do you think of Rasmus at centre-back? He's passing from the back. Listen, I really don't want to just chime in on players. I don't, but I don't see his point, Jamie. I don't see... it's just an awful signing, an awful acquisition. I don't know what he brings. I don't know if he's a Premier League player. And I know a lot of people are going to come back and say, Denmark, and I understand that. But anytime I've watched Denmark... he doesn't really get a lot of the ball, and when he does get a lot of the ball, he plays it inside, he plays it backwards. It's not that difficult. You can hide as a right wing back when you've got so much quality in the side to be able to cover your deficiencies going forward. And when you're going back and back and laterally all the time, he's not really been forced to go forward, in my opinion, for Denmark. Anytime I've watched them, he's not been forced into difficult positions. And when he's playing for Denmark week in, week out, he's not coming up against Premier League quality caliber week in, week out, and he has been doing for Leeds. I don't understand. There is no way he's ahead of Ayling. There's no way he's ahead of Drame for me. There's a lot of people who, for some reason, still think he's technically the best right back in the side. Honestly, I must be watching a different game. I really must be watching a different game. The guy, for me, is stiff. He's rigid. He's not physical. He's bad on the ball. He's bad off the ball in terms of positioning. We saw that with Mitrovic last night, where he just lost him. I really, really don't see what Rasmus Christensen brings to this Leeds United side. And I hope he proves me wrong going forward. I really do. But I just don't get it. And as a rotation option, there's no way he's anywhere near it for me. But yeah, as James said, I hope Rasmus has a glow up like Firpo. There's potential for Rasmus to have that, but as many other people have said, I think Firpo had the pedigree behind him beforehand. I've said it on this channel multiple times. He was woeful. He was out of form. I didn't think Firpo was anywhere near good enough, but the caliber behind Firpo in terms of him being at Barcelona, them signing him from Real Betis, who had an unbelievable season where he was like top 3 in their form players that season. He's clearly got something behind him. There's something there. Whereas with Rasmus, and I know he's youngish, I just don't see what that next step is for him. I just don't see how he develops. You always knew with Firpo he was better going forward, and he was athletic. And his long legs, he'd be able to bomb forward. He's quite quick over his short distance. You always saw that. But with Rasmus, I really struggle to see what it is that he brings. But hopefully he turns it round. Hopefully he turns it round. Phil, I just don't see it, mate. I mean, listen, I guess it's close, but all you guys know that I'm not I know there's loads of people who adore Luke Ayling and for what he's done at Leeds United, but I'm not. I don't massively think Luke Ayling's, a top Premier League right back, or even sort of a mediocre Premier League right back. I think we can do a lot better than that. But yeah, between Rasmus and is Rasmus just out of form at the minute potentially? But as a right back, as a solid right back, I see Ayling better defensively, and I see Ayling better going forward at the minute. And I wasn't so sure at the start of the season, but it's been evident throughout the season that that's how it is, to be honest. But Keith, I've absolutely no idea. I have no idea, mate. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there anyway. Really interested to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below exactly what you think, about this video and the talking points we've discussed. Really interested to hear what you guys think. We'll be back in the next couple of days with some more videos as always. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Want some bonus content? Head over to the Patreon, links in the description below, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.